Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Happy Thursday. It's been a while, it's been a few days since I went live, so I thought I would come on here and chat with you guys a few minutes. I was just reading something, and it's not the first time that I've heard this. I've actually heard this phrase a lot, especially in network marketing. We tend to talk about this a lot, but I actually was reading an article, and they were referring to something that Jim Rohn said. He says that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Have you ever heard this before? Comment below if you are watching me live. I'd love to say hi and give you a shout out, especially if you are new and you've never seen one of my live videos before. Comment below if you are live. If you're catching my replay, I know most people catch the replays, so just comment replay or just say hi or something like that in the comments. I am actually in North Georgia. We actually live about 100 miles into the Appalachian Trail. Hey Barbara. We live in the mountains. Our backyard actually backs up to an actual real life river. It is literally our dream home that we bought here actually just exactly almost a year ago. And so we're super excited. We love life. I'm one of those people where I am an introvert by nature anyway. I could just stay home or just be on Facebook like every day. This is literally my life. So I love working from home. I love what I do because I get to be home, especially when we live in a dreamy place like this. But it got me thinking, when I was reading this article, Jim Rohn saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, my first thought was, well, that's my husband, so that's good because I kind of like him. You know, he's cool, he can stay. Of course, my mom and our kids. And then I really got to thinking, I mean, unless dogs count, it's you guys. You guys are the people I spend the most time with. Hey Rhonda, hey Barbara, hey guys, oh super excited, hey Annette. Anyway, so how many of you guys spend probably more time on social media than you do with people in real life? If that's you, comment below. That's totally me. I work from home, I live at home, I'm always home, right? But my job, my work is 90% of it is based around social media. That's how I've built my business. And so this quote from Jim Rohn, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, really got me thinking. And I've seen this happen too before, and maybe you have too, where, sometimes you kind of just pause and you take a second and you realize, am I in the right tribe? Sometimes you go through these things in life, right? And you're like, okay, I don't really know if the tribe that I'm a part of now, or the community or the friend group or whatever, if what I'm a part of now is where I should be to get to the next level. Have you ever thought that? I've thought that several times. Over the past, I would say decade, especially being in network marketing, you kind of have to take pause every once in a while and make sure that you're on the right trajectory and a part of the right group who's going in the same direction as you are. And here's what I mean by that. So if you take the phrase, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, here are some things to check, right? And remember, it was probably like a year ago, I did a video all about this analogy. I love talking in analogies sometimes. I was talking about this analogy of crabs in a bucket, okay? So let's just say Facebook are crabs in a bucket. Or maybe it's just your friend group, like the group that you hang out with on the weekends or whatever. These are crabs in the bucket. Well, there's going to come a point of time in your life where you're going to want to get the heck out of the bucket. You're going to want to up-level everything in your life, right? And it's going to be one of those moments where you look around and you're like, how did I get in this bucket? And who are these crabs? Like, you're going to go through those moments, okay? And so here's the crazy part about crabs in a bucket. When a crab starts to climb out of the bucket, the other crabs in the bucket don't cheer him on like, you've got this, you go girl, you're gonna get out of that bucket, you're gonna go live free, freedom. They're not doing that. They're climbing on top of each other to grab that crab to bring him back down into the bucket where he belongs. That's for real. Like, try it. Next time y'all are at the beach, put a bunch of crabs in the bucket, and watch them try to get out. It's fascinating. We did this when we were at a vacation and we were catching crabs. It was catch and release, y'all, so like don't call PETA on me, okay? But so it was the most fascinating thing. Like we were doing like night whatever, beach walking and whatever, and we were catching crabs and putting them in the bucket. And some of the crabs tried to get out of the bucket, and then some of the other crabs were like, no, you don't. And the other crabs were like, yes, I am. And they were trying to crawl out, and the other ones like teamed up against this crab to try and pull him back in the bucket. It was the most fascinating thing. And so it got me thinking about this whole Jim Rohn thing, right? So if you have ever had this happen to you where you're like that crab in the bucket and you want out of the situation, maybe you want out of your zip code, maybe you want out of the financial situation you're in, maybe you just want some peace and joy in your life where you're sick and tired of people who create drama. You're sick and tired of every time your friends group messages you on Facebook, it's like some kind of gossip about who said what and who's doing this and all that kind of stuff. And then what if you find yourself doing it? Okay, so like some of you probably are like, boing. If you find yourself doing this, that's your call to action. Like that's your aha moment. That is your awakening. That is when you have to say, wait, how am I becoming one of those crabs? Right? Because if you're participating in this, or if you're empowering it by allowing it into your space, you're literally perpetuating this whole thing. So when I read this quote again, I've read this like a million times, but when I read this tonight, like something stuck out to me because over the past 2.5 years, I have surrounded myself with people who are uplifting, inspiring. They are challenging me to grow, and not in a derogatory, demeaning, why don't you do this kind of way, but in a way of like, you've got more in you, in that kind of way. There's a huge difference too. Where when I have in the past, hey Stacy, I have in the past had friends who demoralized me. Said that I had cursed money, that my business was going to be cursed because I didn't do this and that. I'm a Christian, and like, if you don't do X, Y, Z, you're never going to succeed. And they thought they were helping, right? Friends who called themselves friends, or family that call themselves family, you guys, if they're drama or gossiping about others to you, you can be certain that they're drama or gossiping to others about you. And that was a really hard, like, hit me like a ton of bricks a few years ago when I realized I'm not in the right tribe. I am not in the right, like, it was about 3 years ago that I realized this whole situation is about to change. This whole situation, I am not in the right friend group. I can't go to this person's house. I can't go to this person's Bible study, because every time I did, I felt like I was being demoralized, and it was demeaning, and it was toxic. Like, I don't know another way to explain it, right? So back to the crabs in the bucket thing. There are some people in your life that when you are about to break through or break free, or get to a whole nother level of your life, there are people who, they won't come out and say, I don't want you to do that because then you're going to be better than me and you're going to get out of the place that I'm stuck in. They won't say that. But they will do things that try to keep you stuck, right? So here's the deal. You can just audit this. And this is kind of like, this is like a nutritional detox, except it's like a mental detox for your mind. Okay? You can literally take an audit. It's kind of the same as like opening up your pantry and opening up your fridge and just evaluating, what the heck am I consuming? Open up your Facebook Messenger, open up your text messages, look through the last, 20 people that you've talked to on the phone. Reminisce about those conversations. And really think, were they uplifting? Were they inspiring? How did those conversations make me feel? Did I leave the conversation feeling empowered and equipped? Or did I leave the conversation feeling less than, subtracted from? Did I feel beaten down? Did I feel like that person's always going to be better than me? Did I feel like I was small? I've been there. And it is challenging. It's challenging, especially when you've been in this community or in this tribe for a while, for years, possibly even decades, possibly your whole dang life, y'all. And when you finally decide to break free, it can be challenging. It can be painful. I always consider it, so like this y'all are gonna see like the weird side of me. But again, back to the crabs in the bucket. So here's the deal. I don't know if crabs can feel pain, but think about this, right? So the crab in the bucket, he's like climbing, and he's like, freedom! He has that like Braveheart moment, and he's at the top of the bucket. Now what? Now what? Does he stay at the top? Because like he could totally just fall back in. Old habits are hard to break, y'all. He could like fall back in. Or, I don't know, do crabs feel pain? What if he jumps off? Freedom is on the other side, but there's a long way down. You have to jump off the thing, right? To get off the thing. So, I don't know. Like, do they just stay on top, or do they risk it all to jump to freedom? At risk of what? I don't know, people talking crap about them behind their back, people telling lies, people outright slandering you, people doing all kinds of crazy things. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that could possibly happen, but what's the reward that could happen on the other side of all that? Total freedom. Finding your tribe, finding a true tribe who like pushes you in a loving, respectful, uplifting, empowering way that you deserve. So I just challenge you guys, take a good audit and be willing to be that crab, to get yourself out of that bucket. I don't know. Now I have this visualization in my mind of like Braveheart of crabs. I don't know. Maybe somebody can draw a picture and put that to life. I don't know. That'd be awesome though. But here's the deal. You are indeed the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. And if the 5 people you hang around the most are not getting you to where you want to be by feeling empowered and respected and challenged in a good way and equipped and like locking arms and let's do this instead of you go do this, maybe you gotta just get out of the bucket and be willing to risk it all. So anyway, that's what I wanted to chat with you guys about. It was a fascinating topic. Next time you guys go to the beach, if you guys have a beachy vacation coming up, do that little experiment. It was pretty fascinating to see it in real life. I've heard that analogy talked about quite often, like in speeches and seminars and coaching and stuff like that. And I've never actually seen it in real life. But it does happen. It's pretty interesting. So anyway, but like Jim Rohn says, I believe that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So who are they? And if it's time for a change, then go make a change, online and offline. So I hope you guys have a great night. If I don't talk to you before the weekend, have a great weekend as well. And I will see you guys on another video. Bye, guys.